Well, this morning we have opened the temple courtyard, which is the space that would have been outside the temple dedicated to the goddess Sulis Minerva in Bath.
So what differences will people see if they're coming back to look at the Roman baths?
Well, if they have good memories, they'll realise that they're now standing in a larger space than they were before we began this work. You may think that is a little odd because it is in the confines of basements beneath the pump room. But in fact, by reworking the walkways and making structural changes, we have been able to significantly open up more of the monument for people to see. And in addition to opening up the monument, we have also redisplayed one of the key objects from Roman Britain, the gilt bronze head of the goddess Sulis Minerva herself.
She's actually behind non-reflective glass now, which is going to make it a lot easier for people to take photos of her.
It does, yes. I did this myself yesterday and took a photograph, and when I looked at it I didn't see a sheet of glass with a white spot in the middle, and as I was looking at her I didn't find Stephen Clues looking back at me from the reflective glass. So it is enormously improved in terms of its presentation, and but that's not just presentation for people who have all their faculties. We've also provided a tactile version of the head, specifically to help people who may be partially sighted, so they can actually feel the head and come to grips with the details of the contours, the damage that took place to the head in antiquity, because the head was damaged before it was buried.
So it quite possibly could have been early Christians smashing up a pagan object.
Well, that's entirely possible. There could be other ways in which something like that could happen, but if you're looking for someone to destroy a religious object, someone with a different religious persuasion might be the obvious candidate.
Going back to the walkway, I mean, you've talked about the limitations, so you've done very well in improving access. And also, I suppose, what you've done is basically put in a suspension bridge.
Yes, it is. The new walkway, which is step-free throughout, is suspended on rods from the ceiling above. And so that means there's no structure beneath it obstructing your view of the monument, and because the walkway has a grille that you walk over, you actually see the monument below you. So you have an altogether different aesthetic in the new display to the old, one in which you are completely surrounded by the monument, underfoot, as well as looking over barriers to the monument on either side. It has a very different feel, look and feel, to how it did before.
Picking up on another iconic image that you see as you go through the temple precinct, and that's the altar. Now, you've managed to cram a little bit more into the space, haven't you, there?
Well, the altar's been an interesting intellectual challenge because altogether we have three corners from the original Roman altar, one of which for more than 200 years was built into the corner of a church at Compton Dando. But a few years ago that was repatriated to the Roman bath site, and so our challenge was to fit these three altar corners into a surviving altar where there is only space for two of the altar corners to be seen. And of course 3 into 2 normally doesn't go. But the solution has been to take one of those altar corners that was found about 40 years ago during work beneath the pump room, and to put it back into its original position as found. And that has left us sufficient space to display the other two in sensible corner positions. So we have managed to get 3 into 2.
It would seem, looking at people passing through this morning, to have been a very successful project. But this is still a work in progress, isn't there? There's still more to do.
Yes, there is. There's always more to do on a site like the Raymond Baths, but in developing the step-free access, that is all part of a much bigger, grander scheme that has been working through the Raymond Baths in recent years, which is to bring full wheelchair access to the site. Now that will complete this coming autumn with the installation of 2 further lifts, and when that happens we will have that. Until then we're not able to take wheelchairs through this space. But other work that will carry on will involve some further minor changes to interpretation, and they'll be done over the course of the next 2 weeks.